I leave a like and subscribe to this channel. Hope to get to over 1,000 subscribers, guys. This is what I just found. Hope you like.
In the dark, what if I told you we aren't the only version of humans on this planet, and that deep beneath the ocean surface, there exists a derivative species of aquatic humans evolved over millennia to thrive in the darkest, most hostile parts of the ocean floor. And they've built fully developed underwater societies, highly advanced civilizations that mimic our own. Years ago, Agent Jonathan Blake was assigned to investigate strange sonar signals and unexplained disappearances of deep-sea probes in the Mariana Trench, at which point he'd encountered this massive societal framework populated by what he described as a species of humanoid figures, sleek, with translucent glowing skin, webbed hands, and large reflective eyes. What if I told you we aren't the only version of humans on this planet, and that deep beneath the ocean surface, there exists a derivative species of aquatic humans evolved over millennia to thrive.
Is this why they stopped searching our oceans? The aliens don't live up there, they live down here. Imagine seeing that in the sea while you're taking a little swim. Obviously this is a recreation, but I've got real videos to show you of this creature because it's a real thing. Now this is called a long-fin squid. It's a real species they found in the mid-2000s. I've got a video to show you. This is the real still screenshot of the actual squid. It's 26 feet long. They don't know too much about them. They don't know how they breed or anything like that. Newly discovered, very deep down. And if you're not telling me that doesn't look like an alien, it blimmin' does. And do you know what's the most bizarre thing? It's only been spotted a few different times, and every single one they have captured has been a baby. 26 feet long, baby. Now here's the video when they first discovered it. As you can see right there, imagine seeing that. It looks like something off a flipping alien film, mate. Absolutely terrifying. I'm telling you now, aliens don't live up there. They live in the ocean. I'm not being funny with
Ain't nobody coming out of here. I got everything under control, okay?
Okay.
Love you.
A fisherman thought this was a man crying for help. Then he got closer and discovered what it actually was. A terrifying moment that changed his life forever. Marcus Mack was a fisherman from South Carolina. He worked with his brother John on a small fishing boat 4 days per week. This particular Saturday, things were going well. They were catching plenty of big fish. However, they both had the feeling that something was not quite right. They had been on the water for hours when the sky began to get dark. A storm was emerging. They decided it would be in their best interest to head back to shore. As they turned their boat around, Max spotted a person in the distance struggling to stay afloat. They were very far from shore. Mac yelled out to the swimmer, and they navigated the ship in his direction. They rushed to the swimmer as fast as they could. Right as John was preparing to throw the swimmer afloat, Max screamed in horror as he saw what it actually was. To see the complete video, click here on More, then on Photos. A fisherman thought,
"We're the reason you should not come to Alaska." Hello, my name is Urban. I am one of the Ursanrot people. We live deep in the mountains of Yupik territory, in deep underground caves and lairs. We spend our days fishing and hunting, unless we are interrupted. Although we are little, we can still do terrible things to you. When any hunters come through and disturb these lands, we get very territorial. We will lure you off the pathway with strange sounds. until they are completely lost. Then we will appear and offer you help, and if you accept, it will be the biggest mistake you ever make. We will take you deeper into the bush, and tie you up in a tree. Then we will throw rocks at you, poke you, laugh at you, and leave you to the wild wolves and bears to return you to Mother Nature. So if you're ever in Yupik territory, be respectful, and do not disturb our lands, and always remember, we're the reason you should not.
The U.S. military has now released classified footage of what experts are calling evidence of extraterrestrial life. Recorded deep underground at an undisclosed location, the video shows humanoid figures unlike anything previously documented. Their appearance and environment suggest advanced technology and biology far beyond human understanding. Officials state this discovery was made years ago and has been kept secret under national security protocols. The release of this footage marks a historic moment, but for those watching closely, they also left a cryptic note. Don't believe everything you see online. The U.S. military has now...
They strapped a camera on a shark and look what it captured. A mermaid in the sea. They strapped a camera.
Finally solved mysteries they should teach in schools. The last one is shocking. El Dorado, also known as the Lost City of Gold, turned out to be a mistranslation. It was just the name of some guy taking part in a tribal ceremony that used gold that got mistranslated to the name of a city. There is someone who wants to be more than just friends with you. It is the third person who appears when you click share and then click messenger. There is nothing special about the Bermuda Triangle. Given the amount of airplanes and ships that cross it, the Bermuda Triangle has a statistically average number of mishaps inside its border. The mysterious collapse of the highly advanced Mayan civilization has been solved. A study in 2012 found that the cities were abandoned because the overlogging of the area led to intense droughts and soil erosion. This caused their agriculture to fail, and the lack of food scattered the people. What do you think happened to them? Comment your theory. Before the last solved mystery, please support us by pressing the follow button and enjoy new videos daily. In 2010, an art dealer named Forrest Fenn hid a treasure chest somewhere in the Rocky Mountains and published a book containing clues to its location. This spurred a decade-long scavenger hunt before the cache, worth $1.3 million, was found in 2020. Finally solved mysteries they should teach.
If you see someone with a face like this, run as fast as you can and don't look back.
Oh shit.
What? What's wrong with you? But before showing you the end of this video, I advise you to check if your phone is not being spied on by clicking here, then on more. If you see this app, delete it immediately. So, John was driving home late at night when suddenly a woman with a distorted and barely recognizable face appeared in the middle of the road. Forcing him to stop, she claimed that something had taken her son. Fam, her terror was real. Her voice trembled with every word. John was shocked, paralyzed by uncertainty about how to respond.
Oh shit.
Observing her strange deformed features, he realized she was more than just a desperate mother, but something much more sinister. Unbeknownst to him, this woman was the host of a sinister entity. John was truly frightened. Now watch what happens next in this video. Remember to follow us and save this video if you want to be protected. Look, so a fisherman thought this was a person drowning until he got closer and discovered what it actually was. And fam, he was terrified. So listen, Julian Marcus was a fisherman from Maryland in the States. He worked with his brother Roberto on a medium-sized fishing boat 5 days a week. But on this particular Saturday, they would come across something they would never forget. They started off the day very well, with both Julian and his brother Roberto catching plenty of fish, which were well known to the area. However, they both had the feeling that something was not quite right. After spending 4 hours navigating the waters, their eyes caught the first signs of an approaching storm on the horizon. So, having already secured a plentiful catch for the day, they opted to return to the shore, aiming to trade their haul at the local market. But, right before they did, Julian spotted a person far out in the water, struggling to stay afloat. Julian quickly navigated the ship to the drowning person in the ocean. The person, or what they believed was a person, was at least 200 feet out from the shore. Right as Roberto was preparing to throw the man a lifer ring, Julian screamed in horror as he saw what it actually was. To see the complete video, follow us, click here, on more, and then on phone.
$1 billion if you survive for 4 hours. $1 billion.
You're cutting through the wall of my apartment. What are they doing? So loud. This is like something out of Looney Tunes. This is like Tom and Jerry. Nobody notified me about this. Do I call the police? Do I call my list? Who's doing this? I don't know what they do. I am literally freaking out. What are they gonna do? Are they cutting the door? Are they going to go into the apartment?
Some creepy people there.
Keep going. They just keep coming. You're cutting.
A woman with an excellent figure accidentally got stuck in a wall hole and couldn't get out. As she struggled to free herself, she heard footsteps approaching from behind, freezing her in fear. Just then, a passing overweight man noticed her. The woman quickly begged the man for help, explaining she'd squeezed into the hole to hide from someone and got stuck. To her horror, she kept hearing someone pacing around behind her, eyeing the normally proud woman in her predicament. The man harbored ill intentions. He pretended to pull her out with all his might, but barely exerted any effort. Her figure was tightly wedged in the opening, making it impossible to budge. When he offered to call for help, she shook her head desperately. She didn't didn't want more people to see her like this and urged him to find tools instead. But instead of fetching tools, the man walked behind her. At the sight before him, he couldn't resist reaching out. Sensing something was wrong, the woman let out a cry. He quickly claimed he was just trying to push her out, instantly realizing his motives. She glared at him angrily, enraged in turn. He took out his phone and snapped several photos, threatening to show everyone her embarrassing state. With that, he turned to leave. In a panic, the woman suddenly freed herself from the hole. She chased after him, begging him to delete the photos and promising to do one thing for him. Upon hearing this, the man wore a strange smile on his face. A woman with an excellent figure accidentally got stuck.
I'm going to show you something. This thing starts circling the boat.
USO stands for Unidentified Submerged Object.
Is that like a UFO that goes underwater?
There are actually hundreds. A woman with an excellent...
I'm going to show you something. This thing starts circling the boat.
USO stands for Unidentified Submerged Object.
Is that like a UFO that goes underwater?
There are actually hundreds of documented cases of encounters in the Bermuda Triangle.
We've had tons of people missing. We've got boats missing, planes missing. This is a very eerie place.
There's definitely something supernatural going on in the Bermuda Triangle. We need to figure out why people are disappearing.
So when we got in the water, everything was pretty much normal. And then when we reached the ledge, straight down, bam.
All right, we're going over the side.
At this time, I can't wrap my head around what this is. I'm describing it as a hot knife through butter. That's how sharp the edges are.
All right, we're skimming down the wall. That ledge is pretty much straight up and down. Copy?
Copy, straight up and down.
I don't know if it's man-made or not, but just to find something like this is pretty mysterious, you know, out in the middle of the ocean.
Kind of cut straight down and like somebody or something dug out on the inside.
Maybe some place to hide.
Big enough that you could hide a school bus.
What it looked like to me was, it looked like somebody actually cut out a big square hunk of planet. Who knows, it could be a project of some kind, a tunnel, a mine, but it's definitely not put there by nature. Nature doesn't do that.
Something made this. Copy?
Diver 1, come back to the surface.
Diver 1, I'm telling you, this is not really cool down here. Over. All right, outside, we just made it to the bottom.
Copy, you've made it to the bottom.
This is deep, fellas. This is deep.
4:45 p.m. The Triangle Research and Investigation Group has discovered a bizarre 30-foot shaft that appears to have been excavated from the ocean floor at the location of a 2016 USO sighting.
Diver 1, I'm telling you, this is not really cool down here. Over. That's one way to put it.
I think it was a USO hiding spot, to be honest with you.
We're gonna videotape down here and see what we got later.
So we decided to put up a trail cam because it's the best way to see if anything's coming in and out of there.
But if you think of it, it's a great place to hide. Chuck, you good? Everything looks good to go. We are coming up, copy?
Roger that. Here we go. They're back.
He's just gonna walk over.
Oh, there's something weird down there, brother.
Yeah?
I ain't seen it before.
Definitely not acts of nature.
Yeah?
It looks like a cheese cutter just came down and just hacked it off.
It was definitely not nature. Nature didn't make it. It had to be something made, man-made, alien-made, something else made this. It's literally like a square here. You go about 40, 50 feet, and there's another square.
And nature don't do that, not with a straight line.
No. So literally something could disappear up in there.
Aliens have been living at Earth for many years, and this is the footage that proves it. They are sending a camera down to 1,700 m below sea level because their fishing radar was picking up savage readings. They did not know that when they reached the bottom, their lives would be changed forever. Out of the darkness of the horrifying depths, a real-life alien reveals itself. This jaw-dropping footage now tells mankind where these rogue aliens are hiding. The fisherman knew by just looking at it. It was plotting to take over the world. By the orange color, We can tell it's an extremely poisonous mammal. The fisherman mysteriously missed supper that night. The tentacled alien followed the boat home and is thought to be living amongst humans on land. Orange eyes equals alien. Aliens have been living at Earth.
Scientists cannot find an explanation for the strange creatures discovered deep underwater. Their existence defies everything we know about life in the ocean. Scientists cannot find an explanation.
Noah Joe had been noticing food going missing and objects being moved at night. So he asked his girlfriend, who was living with him at the time, if she had eaten the food, but she said no. So he set up a camera to catch her. But what he caught was far more grim. Take a look. Joe have been noticing.
Do not look in the sewers for too long.
What is it, Daryl? I can't see. What is it?
Someone is walking down the street with a child and they are just commenting on their surroundings.
I mean, look at this house. I mean, windows are broken out, graffiti all over it.
However, when they walk across a sewer drain, they state that they are convinced that there are people living down there and that even the dog smells something. If you have seen the movie, It, then you know you better stay away from sewer drains. Check it out.
You know, look at them. Then my phone tweaks out of nowhere. And then this happened. Oh, my light went out. Whoa. What is that? That's where my light went out. What is it, Daryl? I can't see. What is it? What is that? Whoa! Nope, I'm out.
When the light on the phone turns off, someone or something grabs at the child through the drain. Who, or what was this? This is the reason why you do not look in the sewers.
The defecating Nick looked confused. At this moment, another person came to use the toilet.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my... What the heck? It's so heavy! Ah! Ah! What? It looks like a head of water. And I think, by the way, write down in comments your opinion. Should we call the police now?
I don't know. This is so scary. Look at that. Maybe head part. This thing looks like a nose. My version is clear. Oh my gosh. Look at the face. What? What?
Are you ready to have your mind?
A little boy had a fight with his parents. In order to avoid his parents, he hid behind a big fridge in a department store that no one sold. Unexpectedly, he was caught by a robber. He kept screaming, but the sound of the motor of the fridge was hidden. No one noticed. Day after day, year after year, this shop closed. Until 10 years later, another contractor planned to rent this place for business. When he came to clean these abandoned fridges, he found the skeleton of the little boy behind the fridge. A man was bitten by a snake. But this is not the craziest step in the story. The man received medical aid and continued his daily life. 8 years later, there was no sign of illness or worry. Later, in a discussion with an old friend, his friend mentioned the story of the bite of a snake and how he survived an ice-dead experience. This sentence was deeply imprinted in his mind, which made him addicted to the past. The next day, he was found dead in his apartment.
A German soldier would bend the barrel of the gun trying to shoot around corners, but those bent barrel guns were inaccurate and often exploded in the...
If a person is explosive, how explosive is he? On New Year's Day, when the family was in When a man and his girlfriend were taking a walk by the lake, his girlfriend fell into the water. The man jumped into the lake to save her, but he got stuck in the grass. He tried his best to escape and climbed ashore, but he couldn't find his girlfriend. In the end, he was heartbroken. A few years later, because he missed his girlfriend so much, he came to this sad place again. At that time, there was an old man fishing by the lake. The man was confused. Here the grass grows again. How can he catch fish? The old man told the man that he had been fishing here for decades and had never seen grass grow. The man's words were all lies. Suddenly he fell down and cried bitterly. Here comes the last question. Do you know why the man fell down and cried bitterly? A woman with cancer gave up follow-up treatment and began to knit sweaters day and night. Neighbors were confused by her behavior and advised her to continue the treatment, but the woman remained motionless for a year. A year later, when the woman passed away, the neighbors found a pile of sweaters in her closet. It turned out that when a man and his girl...
A 9-year-old little sister ran into her 2 brothers' room crying. The brothers noticed red stains on her pants.
like blood. They were worried and asked her what happened. Through her tears, she told them that their stepfather, El Cantagna, had put something inside her and that she was in a lot of pain. Overcome with uncontrollable rage, the brothers, along with a friend, attacked their stepfather with steel pipes inside their home. Then, they chased him to a nearby apartment parking lot. Eventually, they took him to a field where they attacked him again and left him there. By the time he was found, he was dead. Before this, Cantagna had already had a warrant out for his arrest for repeatedly another child, but the police failed to act. Now, the 3 young men are facing first-degree murder charges and could be sentenced to life in prison. But all they did was the job that the police and the justice system failed to do. This is a failure of law enforcement. They deserve a medal, not handcuffs. If the same thing happened to you, would you kill the man or call the police? Should these 3 be set free? Share your thoughts in the comments.
Hey! Thank you.
Sorry.
Animals are so cute, man.
I was taking a video of my husband snorkeling in the ocean, and we saw this. What is that? I was taking a video of my husband.
Yo ho, all hands, hoist the colors high. Heave ho, thieves and beggars, never shall we die. Now some have died and some are alive, and others sail on the sea.
I don't know about Albert, she's in my books.
To the cage and the devil to pay, we lay to fate.
To this very day, the 2 girls aren't sure if what they recorded was a live person or a ghost. If it was a person, then I have absolutely no idea why they would be in the water, while fully clothed. And if it was a ghost, then maybe her body is lurking in the shadow waters below. Whatever the case may be, Hina and her sister decide to leave the woman in peace and dare not go any closer. To this very day.
A mother in Georgia intentionally placed her 2 young children into an oven, which was turned on at high heat for 45 minutes, resulting in their deaths. It wasn't until the father, Jamal Penn, returned home that he discovered what had happened. Upon learning from the mother that she had put the children in the oven, he broke down on the spot. He immediately called 911, but by the time he pulled 1-year-old Jakarta Penn and 2-year-old Kyant Penn out of the oven, they had already been cooked to death. When police arrived, they found the bodies of the 2 children outside the apartment and immediately arrested the mother. At first, the mother, Lamora, tried to hide the truth from the police and blamed others for the crime. She later claimed it was her sister who had killed the children, providing false information. Lamora Williams, 24, was ultimately charged with 2 counts of murder. However, in court, Lamora's sister testified that Lamora had suffered from severe mental health issues since childhood and had even attempted suicide. Her husband also stated that he forgave her. After a psychological evaluation, Lamora Williams was confirmed to have cognitive impairments. In the end, the judge sentenced her to 5 years in prison. Do you think this sentence was fair?
Oh, life for life, man.
A mother.
Police surveillance shows a 29-year-old inmate, Justin Avery, crawling into the women's section to SA her while in custody. The video shows Avery crawling on the ground, then sneaking like a spider through the isolation devices in the prison area, before lying down on the woman's side, groping her, and then pulling down her pants. However, this action was noticed by another female inmate, who yelled at Avery in an attempt to stop Avery's unlawful behavior. Upon hearing the female inmate's voice, Justin Avery shook her off. The sound of the female inmate's warning drew the attention of others on the scene, and prison staff quickly arrived to control Avery and remove him from the female inmate area. Justin Avery, who was originally detained for allegedly SA5 women near Arizona State University's Tempe campus, is now allegedly facing serious charges again. The incident has sparked a great deal of concern in the local community about prison management, with many calling for tighter prison supervision and security measures. Do you think the prison guards should be held accountable for his behavior?
Ever imagined a needle snapping off inside your body? For one young man, that nightmare became real.
You killed him for no reason. You had no right.
A 73-year-old grandmother was attacked and brutally beaten to death by a 14-year-old teenager at a church. Two teenagers.
The U.S. military has now released
not guilty of...
The woman, in order to avenge her daughter, SHOT, and killed the murdered who SA and killed her 8-year-old daughter with her own hands in court and was sometimes sentenced to life imprisonment. In court, when the jury declared Ethan Cole innocent, Sarah fainted on the spot. She couldn't believe that the murder of her daughter would eventually be acquitted. When Cole heard the verdict, he laughed smugly. The seemingly calm court instantly caused a huge stir. Amid the chaos, Sarah quickly regained consciousness, swiftly took out a weapon from her pocket, and pulled the trigger without hesitation. Ethan Cole fell to the ground immediately after 3 loud bangs. The court was instantly plunged into chaos. When the bailiff subdued Sarah, she didn't resist. She recalled that her daughter, OTT's body had been discarded by the river and that Ethan Cole had distorted the facts by claiming that his 8-year-old daughter seduced him. Sarah just wants to avenge her daughter. However, in the new trial, Sarah, who was originally a victim, will face charges of first-degree murder for premeditated carrying of a weapon. The judge said in the verdict that it was a tragedy for both sides and sentenced Sarah to life imprisonment. Do you think this mother is guilty? Let's exchange ideas in the comment section.
Not guilty.
If you see someone with a face
scary.
Number 1. Ningen.
Ningen. Ningens are found in Japanese and subantarctic oceans. They are aquatic humanoids, but resemble a whale. Ningens are very rare. Over the years, there have been many hoax sightings. But in 2010, Japanese whale researchers caught the most convincing Ningen video ever. The video was filmed in Arctic waters, and comes from the Japanese Agency for Marine, Earth, Science and Technology. The camera clearly shows a large creature with rounded features. It has an ominous smile and 2 large glowing white eyes. At first, some said this may have been a new species of whale, but according to marine biologists, no species of whale looks like this, meaning that this is likely the closest humans have ever got to a ningen. Ningens do look ominous, but they're nothing compared to this.
Creepy videos that you shouldn't watch at night, but you're going to anyway, part 10. I just held up 5, what the fuck. And for my dark web lovers, you will love this video, because this one actually surfaced on the dark web. Also, I might be going on a TV show. I got contacted by a company to make a TV show on Discovery Channel, pretty much about dark web and creepy videos, so thank you guys. So make sure to show some love so we can get him to see it. I just like my lights out. Alright, the video has since been deleted, but people actually downloaded it, so I'm just on YouTube. So this is in binary code. If anybody wants to decode that, please let me know. This video is pretty scary, so let's watch. What the fuck? Oh, hell no. Here's the full binary code, so just save the video. So if you guys need help sleeping at night, click the link in my bio. And once you click the link, click on Get a Peaceful Sleep, and it's an app, download it, and you will get the most peaceful sleep of your life.
Creepy videos that you shouldn't watch at night, but
You murdered your son.
Yes.
Watch as this woman explains.
Like a little troll.
If you ever find yourself trapped inside a giant drain pipe, and suddenly you hear rushing water coming your way, what do? Most people panic and try to crawl back the way they came, but that's the worst move you can make. The slick, curved walls are soaked. Crawling backward will waste precious seconds, and it probably won't work. Instead, pause. Stay calm. Control your breathing. Panic burns oxygen faster. Now press your back against one wall, and your feet against the other. Spider walk your way forward, inch by inch. If water keeps rising, scan for anything, side tunnels, grates, openings, anything that might lead out. And if there's no exit in sight, start making noise. Bang on the walls, yell, use whatever you've got to draw attention. But if the water fills the pipe entirely, brace yourself. Push forward with your hands. Sometimes the pressure builds behind you, and that force might be enough to shoot you out the other end. Just hope there is another end.
A video lasting over a minute was filmed by British researchers during a geological survey in the Indian Ocean. When the autonomous robot was lowered more than 1,100 meters deep into the seabed, it unexpectedly encountered a peculiar shaped creature swimming in front of it. According to observations, this creature has a black body and a fairly symmetrical shape, resembling two axes fused together. While people were still speculating about what kind of creature it was, suddenly it transformed into a spherical shape with multiple glowing veins of surreal colors attached to a soft and flowing lower body like a piece of silk fabric. Not stopping there, after a few seconds of swimming in front of the camera, this creature suddenly darted away, then separated its body into two distinct pieces before disappearing into the dark water. It is known that this is a rare and unique video footage of this mysterious creature captured up to the present time, and its identity has yet to be determined.
Late at night, a girl sneaked into a boy's dormitory to steal a pair of underwear. When she realized that, she accidentally heard her roommate talking about it. She thought that the boy's underwear could make her sleep better. As a result, she accidentally fell asleep.
A 15-year-old killer smiled in court and said,
I just want to tell y'all.
Dead people were found at the bottom of the ocean. The wiki tells that when the Titanic sank, elderly people refused to leave the ship and sank with it. Even today, if you search hard enough, you can find their dead bodies, sitting alone. Dead people
In the darkness, he accidentally touched the bodies of his 3 co-workers, a moment so terrifying he could hardly breathe. Miraculously, he reached the ship's office area, which hadn't completely flooded. He gathered floating wooden boards and mattresses, building a makeshift raft to stay above the water. In the debris, he found a bottle of Coke and a can of fish, and then he waited. At one point, he heard a ship overhead, but it only dropped a marker buoy and left. No divers, no help. The next day, he saw a beam of light moving in the darkness. Rescuers. Harrison began splashing and banging on the water to make noise. He watched the light drift and pass right by him. Just as he lost hope, another beam appeared, this one closer. He swam toward it and finally made contact with the diver. He led the diver back to the office and explained everything. Due to prolonged time at depth, Harrison had to be placed in a decompression chamber for 2 full days before he could safely return to the surface. Out of the 12 crew members, Harrison was the only one who survived the Nigeria shipwreck tragedy.
When the man
Dr. Apostolo prayed and the river changed color to pure water.
Think twice before swimming in this river.
Oh my goodness, I can see the bottom.
Nobody knew that the most dangerous place on Earth has been the home for this absolutely terrifying creature for months. In the early hours of the morning, a group of explorers stumbled across what has been recorded as the most dangerous place on Earth. I don't even want to mention the name in this video, as I don't want people thinking that they can travel there and survive, but if you're really that curious, wait until the end of the video. This place has been recorded as the most dangerous place on Earth due to its secluded environment, as well as the the type of people and creatures that have been spotted here. This doesn't even include the amount of missing people that have been reported after they stepped foot in this area. Before today, nobody knew what was so dangerous about the island and why so many people would go missing. But now, we believe we have the answers. This absolutely terrifying creature that has set its home on this island was spotted by a group of explorers visiting the area, and they described the sighting of the deadly creature over the radio. That was unfortunately the last we have heard from the group of explorers. If you want to know where the most dangerous on Earth is,
Well, guys, I'm gonna hit my pillow. If you like these my TikTok videos, please leave a comment down below. Thank you. Subscribe if you've not yet subscribed. Leave a comment down below and hit the notification bell. Peace.
1,000 meters.